Greetings, Earthlings, wisdom keepers, wisdom seekers. Welcome back to WizdomDropz, your source for daily drops of wisdom and savvy cat astrology. My name is Tonia, and today we are discussing the Aquarius new moon taking place on February 11th, 2021. I am very excited for this new moon because I think it's going to be more pleasurable and pleasant in our everyday experiences than that Leo full moon that we are working on getting rid of at this point in time. That was just very intense. Everything was a T-square. I did a video on it if you want to see the details. Before we do jump in and look at this chart, everybody, welcome, welcome, welcome. It never fails to amaze me that the internet is like this really interesting place where you can just connect with anybody from anywhere in the world. And so with that said, hi, I'm Tonia. I have a YouTube channel about astrology. If you resonate with this content, you are welcome to join us. We are a growing community of woke and interesting individuals on the internet looking for more astrological wisdom. That's basically our thing. And we talk about astrology. We talk about other things in life, like random just wisdom drops, so that's who we are. Welcome. If you've been here forever now, hey, what's up? Another video coming through. And everybody, are you listening? If this video brings you any value whatsoever by the end of it, and you know it will, hit that like button because it helps more people get this information for free. It's like a super cool way of showing up. It costs you nothing. It helps other people get the information. And that's about that. A couple quick announcements, everyone, before we jump in here. Number one, if I didn't already say that, I am starting a webinar series very soon, and we are going to be meeting live about different events like new moons, like full moons, and I will be inviting you all to join us. This will be over the Zoom platform. It will cost you nothing to start with. I'm just going to be doing like open webinars and see who wants to show up and say hey and check out the space. And that might be an ongoing thing that we keep doing, but I'm definitely going to do that. And it's coming up within the next lunation cycle. So within 4 weeks from this upcoming full moon, it will be a thing. Or excuse me, this upcoming new moon, it will be a thing. So stay tuned for that. Also, you are able and willing to write down if you are willing, to write down a comment in this video for a requested video on a future video. So if you want to do that, there you go. That's an option. What else do I need to say to you before we jump into this juicy new moon chart? You can definitely make sure that you reach out to me if you need a reading for yourself. I book those with clients. So that's a thing that I am available for. And the Gmail address is down below in the description to reach me there. And with no further ado, let us go into checking out this here new moon and seeing what is the what. So this is, as I said, very interesting because you see how right away, this is on the 11th of February, okay, 2021, and you have here a 23-degree new moon in Aquarius, which is having this massive stellium. This is a huge stellium. Look at all these planets in Aquarius right now. This is super rare. This is not typical. I heard another astrologer say this hasn't been a thing since like 1962. I think it is. Look at how many planets there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All in Aquarius. That is literally insane. The only planets outside of those planets that are outside of that are Uranus, Pluto, and Mars. The only one, and Neptune. The only one of those that's original to astrology is Mars. So like all of the OGs, all of the originals are in Aquarius. That's insane. Now, what else is happening though is this V sextile. You see that blue little triangle, y'all? You see how Neptune is at the apex or the tippity point of that little arrow? That's crazy. That's like telling us that there's a gift set here. A V sextile like that is a mini grand trine. A grand trine is when you have 3 planets in one element making harmonious trine aspects to each other. But this is a mini grand trine or a V sextile. It engages 2 earth signs and a water sign in this example. And the point of that is this Neptune. And the Neptune is spiritual calling. This is teaching us to be spiritual in our attention at this point in time. And it's telling us that angels, spirit guides, Neptunian beings of the other side, especially can be connected with through means of water. And that means like baths, or if you're somewhere warm, like the ocean or a lake. And, you know, I'm getting like crystals as being a really good thing for you to be working with at this time, because, you know, those are just super groovy to work with in general. But under this energy of these kind of like Neptunian beings, like blue crystals, water-ish crystals, like shells, right? Things like that even would be really medicinal to work with. And that's like the kind of like call to action, because it's again the point of this configuration you see here. Okay, and what else is engaged in that gift set amidst all this tension, and what we're going to talk about is this Mars energy and this Pluto energy. So we can heal profoundly at this time, and it can be really rewarding from a psychological Pluto level, as well as like a just like action, willpower, like what are we doing in the world kind of perspective. So like somehow us coming into our spirituality and our channeling in messages from our guides and our maybe elders who have passed, or like our angels and different beings like that, especially like water kind of sentient goddesses, or through watery means connecting with them, we are somehow helping ourselves very practically in a very psychological way, in a very action and strategy. These two planets of Pluto and Mars really speak of action and strategy in terms of that. And they're transiting Earth signs right now, which means practical application of that. So I see that as being like the opportunity on offer. Now let's just put that to the side for a second and go into what this Aquarius stellium is all about. This is crazy. It's like I say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 planets all in Aquarius. And what I love, love, love about this new moon, everybody, this is worthy of our focus, is this conjunction of these two truly beautiful planets, Venus and Jupiter. I love Venus and Jupiter. I have a Venus-Jupiter conjunction in my chart, as a matter of fact. It is a very beautiful thing to experience. By transit, in this new moon, it's serving everybody, because these are the two benefics. Venus is the planet of pleasure and materiality. Jupiter is the planet of spirituality and belief systems and abundance. Venus is also wealth of her own variety. She rules the literal coin of money. She's earthly pleasures, and in the sign of Aquarius resonates more with maybe her celestial kind of energy, which is more so her nature when she's in Libra, who she rules, versus when she's in Taurus, which is the more like abundance in the physical world. You know how, in other words, Venus rules Taurus and Libra, but it's more celestial when it's an air sign Libra. Anyway, point is, this Venus and this Jupiter are conjunct at this new beginning, because you know, Divine Mother, Moon, Divine Father, Sun are coming together for a new beginning, y'all. So the new beginning on offer, everybody, just so we're really clear about what this new beginning is, it has a flavor of Venus and Jupiter conjunct. That is great. It's a tremendous asset to have that sort of conjunction in the chart, and it's very basically indicative that we can bring in joy and prosperity, and basically all of the like floofy things that you wish you had more of, that are like kind of shallow but not really at the end of the day. They're also kind of like just real pleasures that are just like worthy of holding that pleasure space, right? Those things, the just objectively pleasurable things, we can have more of them. And somehow through our engagement in Aquarian means, we will have access to those things. Now, this is also a deeper meaning of bringing in the new era that is this age of Aquarius. I've done videos on that, plural. If you want to research that, you can just type in WizdomDropz Age of Aquarius. It will come up, or whatever. Go to my uploads, popular uploads, something like that. It'll be there. But that's the next 20 years at least, until we have another air conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn, which will be in a different sign. It won't be in Aquarius anymore. But this is a 200-year era and a 20-year era of intensity around bringing that new era at a larger level in. And so anyway, this new beginning that we're experiencing, this is the first new moon that we're having in Aquarius since the Jupiter Aquarius conjunction, the great conjunction between Jupiter and Saturn that happened at 0 degrees Aquarius a few weeks back. Okay, So since that new era kind of like omen or indicator that we had a few weeks back, this is the first new moon in Aquarius, which tells us from a more esoteric perspective, this is true astrology. We're like really getting to the philosophy of, once you understand the philosophy of astrology, you have more ground to interpret from, if that makes sense. And what I'm trying to share with y'all today is that this new beginning is the first new beginning opportunity that we have had, where the Divine Mother and the Divine Father are coming together to birth something tangibly here on Earth in the sign of Aquarius. That is this new era. So what are you bringing in? It's very auspicious because we have the two benefics here. What is coming in through this portal? Literally, think of this new moon like a portal. Okay, this is an energy portal. So keep that in mind. Like, what are you bringing in? And that is going to be this Venus Jupiter, which is abundance and wealth and joy. Okay, all the good things that we want, you know. But Mercury is there too, and this is where we need to look a little further, because Mercury is retrograde, and Saturn is there too, and that's about structuring and restructuring these systems that are so clearly faulty and fallen and falling and just deteriorating around us. Their sustainability is not true. Their sustainability is not there. What is true is Earth, and Earth will sustain whether or not we choose to go along with it. You know what I'm saying? So I guess this is just like what I want to talk about in this context is like, keep in mind, whatever you're building is that there is a new beginning that is 20 years in the making, and you're starting it now. This is the new moon now, on the 11th of February, of the energy you want to bring in, the stones you want to cast, the net you want to throw, the fire you want to start, the trail you want to designate, the vibe you want to emanate. For the next 20 years, you are coming forward into that beginning, that opportunity now on February 11th, 2021. So set your intentions and think deeply, reflect deeply. Mercury is in retrograde at this time, over what those intentions are. Thoughts are Mercury. Mercury is our thoughts. It is our mental intellect, as is the moon. Okay. One says the sun as well is related to intellect. Okay. But really, though, this is your inner mind, the moon and Mercury. And so when you see these in Aquarius, there's a genius, but there's also, on the other side of genius, there's kind of like a tragic flaw. I don't want to make it all like super emo, but it's kind of true. Like, on the other side of genius energy, there's always a shadow, because it's so brilliant. It produces a shadow. So it doesn't mean it's inherently flawed. It means it's inherently juxtaposed or contradictory in some type of way, if that makes sense, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So that's where you get this Jekyll and Hyde vibe that can be very much so Aquarius, right? To bring it down into a real example, this is where you can also get like Frankenstein, because that's like the experiment gone wrong, right? Around kind of a mad scientist of Aquarius. It has like a lot of depth and a lot of quirk and a lot of originality. And when you have that type of extreme originality, there's something else that comes with it that's not entirely, you know, woohoo worthy necessarily. And so anyway, I just want to bring that up as like a caution. When you are going deep in your reflections, Mercury retrograde, that's what that's going to bring, is deeper reflections, deeper contemplations. You're going to be thinking more about the words you use, the conversations you have with people, okay? The thoughts that you think will be more on your mind than ever before. You will be more reflective. You will be maybe a little more passionate to speak from a place of joy than a place of maybe confrontation. But when you do, it will be felt for a very strong tone. It will play a strong chord in the celestial guitar, if you know what I mean. Because look, Mercury is squaring Mars, and Mercury square Mars is explosive and argumentative. So amidst this Jupiter-Venus conjunction, try not to be shallow, but be indulgent. Enjoy in the pleasures of the brain, because this is happening in a very brainy sign. Aquarius is not a super embodied sign. Venus Jupiter conjunct right now, you know, Venus Jupiter usually means, like, you could think of it as like massages, but it's an Aquarius. And guess what? Aquarius isn't an earth sign, it's an air sign. So this is intellectual and interrelational, interpersonal pleasures, more likely than not, that we're likely going to be able to indulge in. Okay. And when it's squaring Mars, you know, Mercury, the planet of communications, in a social air sign of Aquarius, that's going to be squaring off with the battle planet Mars in Taurus. So fighting for Earth rights right now could actually be a thing that's worth fighting for example, with Mars and Uranus co-present in Taurus. You know, awakening of Earth. That's what that means to me. Square Mercury. We need to talk about it, you know. And then you have the Venus engaged and the Jupiter engaged in that as well. So there is like a sort of like tension there driving this. And the awakening of Earth going on a meta level of this new era of Aquarius, right, y'all? Back in and out we go, as is the flow of nature's ebbs. But we go back into this and we say, hey, you know what? This is the awakening of Earth, Uranus Mars conjunction. And over here we have the, hey, this is the bringing in, the hearkening in of the Aquarian age, y'all. Where are you at? And so this is the new beginning, and it is to awaken Earth, and it is tense. Look at all these red lines. It requires energy, though. Any red line in astrology is an activation opportunity. Okay, mark them, my words. It's true. And then at the same time, remember what we started with this whole video? This is the concluding point. Neptune is at the apex of a V sextile. If you're still with me in this video, we just astro traveled across the world and back, because Neptune at the apex of this V sextile, y'all, this is the gift set. Remember, I always refer to V sextiles. It's like a cosmic gift set. That's some original Tonia content. It's good feeling to be able to produce original content as an astrologer. You know what I mean? And that is original. And it's to say that, like, this is an opportunity. It's true, though. It's based on every other astrologer's insight I've ever received on this topic, is, in other words. So, and I've experienced it as true. The apex planet of this is the reason why we've been given that gift set. So use this, apply this, whatever this planet is, for this good, and you will reap just that good. And what beautiful planets to be engaged in this conversation. You know, Pluto, that's the deep transformer. Neptune, the mythical goddess, you know what I mean? I mean, of escapism through water. Like, who doesn't want to just go bathe with Celeste? You know what I mean? Like, that sounds great. Like, get you some Celestite, whatever. And then, like, Mars, the activator. So the psychological activation, boom, 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 boom. You see how that Pluto-Mars plays across with each other? Through spiritualization and through spiritual communication. So communicate spiritually and you'll receive this, and this will also in turn support that. So you're meant to communicate with your spirit guides. You're meant to communicate with your higher self, with your cosmic team, with your divine benevolent beings on the water side of things. Pisces is going to be the end, the disillusionment. That's why some people argue Pisces is the most spiritual sign. I wouldn't really argue with anybody who said that, to be honest, at all. I would just also say, but yeah, we can't forget the other water signs, and, you know, Cancer. There's a lot of people who could argue like Sirius being in Cancer makes it the most spiritual sign. And then there's other people yet who say, what of fire? You know, the fire element is spirit, and Jupiter rules a fire sign and Jupiter rules a water sign. Shouldn't Sagittarius and Pisces be considered the most spiritual signs? Ultimately, the spiritual signs are going to be most associated with water and fire elements. I'm just giving y'all all the astrology nuggets. Like this video, y'all. You know it brought you value. Thank you for y'all presence. And with that said, through next time, until next time, may the stars be with you. Peace.